Hi, just a quick note before today's episode. When I recorded it, the news wasn't out yet regarding the FDA's change towards hormone replacement therapy for women. So, quick update before we dive into the subject. Estrogen for menopause was demonized for decades. Now many doctors are saying it's a miracle drug, and the FDA appears to agree. So starting Monday, the FDA will work with the companies that make estrogen pills, patches, and creams to remove the big black box warnings, the ones that highlight risk of heart disease, breast cancer, and possible dementia. Those warnings aren't disappearing entirely, mind you. They'll still be there in the fine print listed under possible side effects. Estrogen was first isolated on April 8th, 1929, and it didn't take long before it was in products. From the very beginning, it's been a divisive topic. On one side are those who see it as a kind of miracle, something that can keep you young, sharp, and strong. On the other are the more cautious voices, reminding us about the risks. By the 1990s, nearly 40% of postmenopausal women were using what became known as hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, now including progesterone to reduce the risk of uterine cancer. The promise grew beyond symptom relief. It was about longevity, protecting the heart, the brain, the bones. Then in 2002, the largest clinical trial to date, over 27,000 women, tested those claims. The results were sobering. Women on hormones had higher rates of stroke and breast cancer, also more dementia, urinary incontinence, and gallbladder issues. It felt like a turning point. But today, a new generation of menopause experts, mostly women, surprise, surprise, are very active online, are saying the alarm was overstated. They argue the data was misunderstood and that starting treatment during menopause, usually in the mid-40s, could be the most effective window. They believe withholding hormone therapy is another way women are being dismissed or misled by the medical system, and they have a point. Managing midlife symptoms is important. It deserves ongoing research, clear information, and real choices. With all the enthusiasm to bring HRT back into the mainstream, it does make you wonder, is estrogen now the key to winning at aging? Is a fair question, and one worth asking. Now on with the episode.
Swinging through the years, we're breaking all the rules. Midlife's calling, honey, we're nobody's fools. Got that fire inside, we're rising up to shine. This is our time, yeah, we're feeling so divine. Oh, we're thriving, we're vibrant, bold and free. Women owning midlife, just you wait and see. Dance through the changes with a heart so strong. This is our anthem, come and sing along.
Welcome back to Not Your Mother's Midlife. I'm your host, Johanna, and today we're diving deep into a topic that sparked curiosity, confusion, and even fear for so many women: hormone replacement therapy, or HRT. Is it safe to replace hormones? What about cancer risks? Can you start HRT if you're a cancer survivor or years past menopause? And why have so many women been terrified of it? Let's set the stage with some history. Back in the early 90s, the Women's Health Initiative, or WHI, launched a massive study that changed the game for how we view HRT in postmenopausal women. This was a bold move to see if HRT could prevent chronic disease. They ran two big trials. The first, the estrogen plus progestin trial, followed women with an intact uterus. They were randomly given either a daily combo of conjugated equine estrogen, yes, derived from the urine of pregnant mares, so horse pee, and medroxyprogesterone acetate, a synthetic progesterone, or a placebo. This went on for about 5.5 years. The second trial, the estrogen alone trial tracked nearly 11,000 women who had hysterectomies, giving them either estrogen alone or placebo for about 7 years. These weren't just experiments. They were a massive bet on HRT's potential to transform women's health. But then, in 2002, the WHI dropped a bombshell. The estrogen plus progestin trial was stopped early. Why, you ask? Well, they found heightened risk of breast cancer, heart disease, stroke, and blood clots. Sure, there were benefits, like lower risk of colorectal cancer and hip fractures, but the headlines screamed danger, 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 especially about breast cancer. So overnight, women ditched HRT, and doctors hesitated to prescribe it. 2 years later, the estrogen alone trial was also halted. The fear was real, and it reshaped women's choices for decades. But here's the thing, the story didn't end there. Let's fast forward to today, where new data and a fresh look at the WHI are flipping the script. I'm so excited about the movement right now to spread the word about safety and efficiency of hormone replacement therapy, HRT or BHRT. We're talking about bioidentical hormones. And let's clear something up. Estradiol is estradiol. Whether it's from a fancy compounding pharmacy in a pricey cream, a patch, a pill, or whatever form your standard pharmacy dishes out, estradiol is bioidentical. It's the same molecule your body recognizes. Where we get into trouble is with progestins, those synthetic versions of progesterone, like the medroxyprogesterone used in the WHI trial. Progestins, I'm saying progestins, like progestins, sit on the progesterone receptors, but don't act like the real deal. They're the troublemakers. Re-evaluation of the WHI data and new studies show that progestins, not estrogen, were largely behind those scary risks. The good news is micronized bioidentical progesterone, the kind that works like your body's own progesterone, is available at your regular pharmacy. When it's bioidentical, it fits your receptors like a key in a lock, doing what it's supposed to do. I've heard to never use estrogen alone. Always pair it with bioidentical progesterone to protect the uterine lining, but recent data is shaking things up even more. Estrogen-only therapy, especially for women who've had hysterectomies, is showing incredible benefits with far less risk than we were led to believe. This is huge because an entire generation of women got so let down by the WHI's fallout. Let's talk about the delivery methods. There's topical estrogen, think gel, patches, or cream. Progesterone also comes in topical forms, but as hormones drop, most women will do better with oral micronized progesterone over topical. And let's not forget about testosterone. There's a lot of delivery options. Injections, pellets, gels, for example. The dosage can be tricky as it's only dosed for men. No, I'm serious. There's only dosages for men, even though women have testosterone in their body. It's ridiculous. The gel is easy to start with low doses to see how it affects you and how much you need. The ones I have, it comes in a box and they're all little packages, and the packet prescribes a full tube every other day, when in actual fact, the beginning dose suggested by my doctor was a pea size. So it comes in this big tube, and unless you knew that, you just squirt in a whole tube on your leg every day, gosh. So that's why we have this kind of information getting out there to help women, because my actual doctor didn't know this. He told me to use the whole full tubes, but my healthcare provider from MIDI was the one who said, whoa, stop, don't use the whole tube, use a pea size. I was rubbing it into my tummy in the beginning, and I started to notice that hair was growing. I started getting a little patch of hair on my stomach. Yikes. So I switched to my thigh because it already has hair there and gets shaved every day. Timing matters. Delaying hormone replacement therapy too long, like starting it more than 10 years after menopause, can make it harder to right the ship. The data shows that late initiation might miss the window to prevent some of the devastating impacts of hormone loss, like bone density issues or cardiovascular risk. Early intervention can be a lifesaver, so get evaluated sooner than you think that you need to. I did recently and started using HRTs. I shared my experience in the previous episode. Now let's talk about cancer. We all hate that word. The WHI scared the crap out of everyone in 2002, But a lot of that fear was overblown. Studies since then have reevaluated the data, and the breast cancer risk from estrogen alone, it's not nearly as bad as we thought, if it's even there at all. In some cases, estrogen might lower breast cancer risk. Progestins, not bioidentical, progesterone, they're the ones linked to increased cancer risk when paired with estrogen. For cancer survivors or women with specific risk factors, it's a different conversation. You've got to weigh your personal risk tolerance and talk to your doctor. But for many, the fear of HRT is outdated and illogical, fueled by misinformation from that one study. Estrogen alone can thicken the uterine lining, which is a risk for uterine cancer. But pairing it with bioidentical progesterone mitigates that. So what's the takeaway? HRT, especially with bioidentical hormones, is safer and more effective than we've been led to believe. It's not the one-size-fits-all delivery method. Timing and your personal health history matter, but the data is clear. Early intervention can transform your quality of life, and the risks aren't as scary as they seemed 20 years ago. Don't let the WHI's shadow hold you back from exploring your options. I've attached some great, more in-depth conversations from other podcasts I've listened to that really helped inform me. And there's also a book that you can read if you want to dive deeper in. I've linked them all below. So thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who would love it too. Let me know your thoughts or ideas for future episodes. A few people have reached out to me with some ideas, and I will be recording them soon. I'd love to hear from you too. Subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. Please leave a 5-star review. It helps other people find me, and I really appreciate it. And until next week, I'm Johanna Hart, and this is not your mother's midlife. Bye-bye.